For this video, we're going to be explaining branching in MIPS. To begin with this file, we're going to be syscalling for, which is going to print the string prompt1. What this does is it asks for an integer for value 1. Then we'll store this value into temporary register T0. Doing that, first we have to read it in. But to do this, we're going to use the parentheses because we're referencing the address of this register. And then we are going to syscall again to get the second prompt, which is simply asking for value 2, and then we're going to store value 2 just like we did before. And then after we store value 2 right here, we are going to prepare to print whether it's greater than, equal, or less than, as we have here. The reason that we put this before we do any branching is because if we did it after the branching, each label we have for if it's greater, if it's equal, if it's less, we'll have to include loading into v04. If we do it before, it's already preloaded for every single instruction afterward. So after we prepare to print, then we will be branching. If it's greater, if t0, value 1, is greater than value 2, then we'll jump to greater, which what greater does is it loads the string gt, which greater than, it says it's greater than. Less than is if it's less than, and equals if it's equal. So we jump to greater, we load the string, we print the string because we already loaded v0, and then we jump to exit. Same thing for equal and less than, we jump here and here. Now less than doesn't need to jump to exit because that's the next instruction to be ran. However, the rest need to jump to exit, otherwise they're going to run each command afterwards. Now you'll see I also have an extra exit here. This I call it exit 1 because this is going to be syscall 17, which allows us to exit with an error code. The error code I gave it is just 1. The only time we're going to exit the error code 1 is if we get to line 32, which should never happen, but to get to 32, what would happen is it would value 1 would not be greater than value 2, value 1 would not be equal to value 2, and it would not be less than, which just shouldn't work. But if there's some kind of error in the code, then it would get to this point and we would know. Now, when we run the code, I have it set to run at 1 instruction every 2 seconds, so we can watch it run together. First thing we're doing is we're printing the first string. And first we're loading the string address. And then after we load the string address, then we will do the syscall. And as soon as the syscall is entered is when the integer prompt is printed. Now we asked for the value to enter, and as you can see, the typing prompt is there, and we will say value 1 will be 15. And then we proceed. We're storing it currently. Now we're loading the second prompt, and we're calling the second prompt. And now it asks for an integer for value 2, and now we are syscalling the value 5, which is going to ask for the integer, and we will say value 2 is 30. After we enter 30, we can watch it continue. It stores the value. Now it's asking, is it greater? It's not. It continues. Now we're asking, is it equal? It's not. We continue. Is it less than? It is. So what do? We jump to line 45. We load into A0 the string to print, saying it's less than. We syscall it, and it prints the value is less than. And then it continues. It syscalls the code 10, which is to exit, and the program is finished running.